ago, a foreign country in Africa openly announced that it had supported and participated in a cowardly, terrorist, and barbaric attack against the forces of our confederation. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference.
Hello, welcome to One Africa Mission with your brother Dubia Anzanse. So, as you already know, that is our charismatic leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, speaking there. And then we're gonna show the full video because it is very unfortunate. What we are hearing is that the Western colonial criminals are determined to bring down the Sahel alliance. They are determined, they are doing everything within their power, with their evil power, to bring down the Sahel alliance. But unfortunately, some of our leaders, as usual, since the day of slavery to colonization to this new colonization, as we always have people who will compromise with the colonial criminals or with the enemies of Africa to bring down our progressive leadership. There are some of our puppet leaders in the African Union who are in collaboration with this Western colonial criminals to bring down the Sahel alliance. I'm going to show you the full video of Captain Ibrahim Traore's speech. But before we do that, please take time out of your busy schedules to support our mission, One African Mission. We are on a mission, and our mission is all about the unification of our beloved continent and the dignity of our race. We are sick and tired of being marginalized all over the world, purposely because we are allowing that. Today, we cannot blame people for what they are doing to us. We must take responsibility for everything that is happening to us if we really want to bring change. So yes, I thank you very much for coming around. So please support our mission by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, One African Mission. On TikTok, One African Mission. We are on a mission to chase Satan out of Africa and to bring back our dignity as children of Africa. The #1 African mission. Let us watch Captain Ibrahim Traore full speech. Come back and analyze it.
The children of Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the strength and all the strategies necessary to support its states so that they can find peace. We will not even talk about us here in the Sahel. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the scene of international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem. Worse, a few days ago, a foreign country in Africa openly announced that it had supported and participated in a cowardly, terrorist, and barbaric attack against the forces of our confederation. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference of a foreign state in Africa in the internal affairs of our states. I would like them to hear this shout and get out of their silence and take action so that the youth can believe in the African Union. We must unite. The only way to unite is to talk to each other, to understand each other, and to be able to establish the basis of this unity.
Yes, so as you can hear Captain speaking, normally sometimes when Captain speaks, you don't even know what to say again. But it is very unfortunate. It is it is so sad, because what we are hearing is that the African Union just had a meeting, and then what they are saying is that they will not, what we already know, they don't recognize the Sahel alliance. According to them, they are in support of the ECOWAS and stuff like that. They are in full support of ECOWAS. So they do not recognize the Sahel countries. But not only they do not recognize the Sahel country that we are hearing. What we are hearing is that the African Union is planning whatever to destabilize the Sahel countries. We don't know what their intention is, but we just hope that it is not going to be another poor thinking of military intervention in the Sahel, because this will cause like a civil war that will be more brutal than that of the American Civil War. Because this generation of Africans, we cannot allow the Sahel, we cannot allow the Western colonial criminals in conjunction with some of their puppet leaders in Africa to bring down these Sahel countries. This Sahel alliance is the future for Africa. And then if we, this generation of Africans, if we allow them to bring it down, the Sahel alliance, then we will live another 1,000 years in bondage. We will live, if the Sahel alliance fail their mission for the continental unity, if the Sahel alliance, because what they have started today will eventually lead Africa to its glory. What the Sahel alliance have started today will eventually lead Africa to unity. So if we allow the Western colonial criminals who doesn't want to see anything progressive for Africa, who doesn't want to see the black race have dignity, if we allow them to bring down this Sahel alliance, then we will have our children and great grandchildren will have another 1,000 years to be in bondage. We cannot afford that to happen. We must all stand up and speak against whatever, because for all of a sudden there is the attacks on the Sahel countries is just rising up. The attacks is becoming worse day in and day out. Before it wasn't like this, but all of a sudden there are serious attacks going on in the Sahel, purposely because France, the Western world led by France, doesn't want to see a peaceful, dignified French countries, former colonies in Africa. But we cannot allow it to happen. But the unfortunate and sad thing is that, as Captain said, recently, as we all know, there was an attack in Mali by the so-called separatist group. This is a criminal group. But an African country, he didn't mention the name, but we all know it's Cote d'Ivoire. An African countries come out boldly and said they have, because we already know reports came out that Cote d'Ivoire, some of the terrorists that was captured, claimed that they had their training in Cote d'Ivoire. And some weeks ago, we remember Captain Traoré said the French had a base in Cote d'Ivoire where they train mercenaries to attack our countries. Why are we allowing these colonial criminals to do us like this? Why are we allowing them to use us to bring terrorize our own people as Africans? As we keep saying, we are always our own enemies. And when they came out and say that the African Union is mute, the African Union have never come out and say no. Even though we do not recognize this government because they are military government. We do not recognize military takeover, but still they are Africans, and then you cannot, as an African country, sponsor terrorists against another sovereign African country. The African Union is mute. The ECOWAS is mute. They are quiet. They are quiet because they know the Western colonial criminals are the ones leading this against our own people, and they have no balls. They have no power to stand up and speak against what is happening against our people. This is so sad. This is very unfortunate. And this is the reason why we are calling on for a united Africa, because the only way we can stand up against these colonial criminals is by uniting the continent of Africa. And as we heard, Captain Traoré talks about that. We need unity. But how do we get to that unity? It's by engaging each other in sincere manner. But as we speak today, no African leader is talking about the unity of Africa. Why? When we all know that this is the only, because they are so scared to death, they cannot speak out. No African leader as we speak today is talking about a united Africa. No, everybody is quiet. The only person as we speak today who is talking about that is Captain Traoré. Captain, may you live long to see Africa Day of Glory. And I'm calling on the youth of Africa, progressive people of Africa, let us all stand up and defend the Sahel, because the Sahel is the future of Africa. I thank you very much for coming around. Please go together, fight for a united, better Africa, because it is only unity that can give us back our dignity as children of Africa. Thank you very much.